You're listening to Tambora Dialogues, where we honor our rich Latin ancestral wisdom and renativize ourselves in the drum circle. I am your host, Erasma Veras Monticholo.
Saludos, familia. Welcome to Tambora Dialogues. Today, we kick off our three-part special edition report on the Haitian and Dominican Republic border crisis that has garnered international news coverage in recent weeks due to the Dominican Republic's response to the crisis. In particular, is crackdown on immigration from Haiti and the building of a border wall. Look, I recognize that there are mixed emotions and that the opinions about the Haitian and Dominican border crisis run the spectrum. But it's our hope that these special reports, in which we talk directly with people on the ground, with the people actually living through the crisis, those that are directly impacted, will provide our audience with the missing context that so often gets ignored in the media and in political conversations. Our objective is to humanize the dialogue because the crisis isn't about numbers, it's about people. The tense situation between these two nations is a complex one that spans the histories of both countries and which also has created within it an interdependence of labor and trade, as well as a very personal history of familiarity as neighbors. Joining us today in the drum circle to share his perspectives on the current crisis is Dr. Joseph Cherubin, founder of MOSCTHA, the social cultural movement for Haitian workers. MOSCTHA is a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the quality of life and respect for the human rights of Haitian immigrants and also other marginalized people in the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Since its launch, MOSCTHA has been at the forefront of understanding the relationship between our two bordering nations, in particular through its groundbreaking work on human rights and on immigration. Let's listen in to Dr. Cherubin. Mr. Cherubin, your organization has different pillars or offerings of services. Can you share with us what those are?
Well, we have two fundamental pillars. Health, which is the fundamental part of us, is basically the fruit of the very creation of the organization. We are pioneers of mobile unit service that begins in the batalles. The batalles are rural community of surrogate workers. We work with preventive and curative health. We have two clinics, one here in Santo Domingo and another in Santiago. And we were the ones who start with in the country with the issues of mobile units. And one of the biggest projects we have is that we give medicine to HIV/AIDS patients in the Dominican community. The highest percentage of people with HIV/AIDS are immigrants. Of the 70,000 people with HIV in the country, 25% are Haitian immigrants and their families. The prevalence in this population is bigger. We also do family planning issues, contagious infectious disease, the thing of COVID and its guidelines, among other topics. The second major pillar is that of human rights. We have a team of lawyers that specialize in nationality and immigration issues. We do international litigation. We work in the Inter-American Organization and the topic of global law. Another pillar is the personal development. Unfortunately, while there is a great need, we must compete for funding. This organization is underfunded.
Earlier, you mentioned that Dominican people as a whole aren't anti-Haitian. So who is?
Politicians are the problem.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
I work in the batallas from the age of 37, long before you were born. In the batallas is a multicultural diversity of Haitian Dominican community. The famous expression that Dominican Haitians said is that we are all either Dominicans or we are all Haitians. Dominican marry Haitian and vice versa. Sometimes in those places, the Haitians are richer than the Dominicans. They are owners of grocery stores, for example. So, no problem. I will give you another example. Consuelo Desprader is a nationalist. There was a Dominican man who said that we have to do what Consuelo said about deporting Haitians. And another Dominican said to that man, compadre, should our body Joseph, meaning me, who is here, be deported? The man who was following Consuelo said, no, 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 not Joseph. He's one of us. That man is good. And I'm willing to die so they don't deport Joseph. So do you understand the mentality? The thing that is in the problem is the politicians, people who have their own interests. Dominicans in general are not the problem. The, there are things like the media that lead people to rejection, but reality is different. In my experience, if you have a party or celebration, the two towns drink the same rum together. We coexist.
So I have a couple of connected questions. You just told us about the diversity of the migrant population that is coming, that it differs from what it was before. So my two questions are, have you seen the opinions of Dominicans change in reference to Haitians and vice versa since 1985, let's say to date? And is it true that at that time, back in the 80s, there was a more or less positive relationship?
Currently, it is the worst moment. After Law 168-13, it was a judgment that takes the case from here to the Court of Justice. Listen to this. This conflict was born here. The Dominican Constitution before 2010 says that everyone born here is Dominican. There was no exception. Before January 26, 2010, traditionally all Haitian children born here were automatically Dominican without exception, just as when a child of a Dominican is born in the United States. He is automatically American without distinction. But politically, here in Dominican Republic, there are anti-Haitian sectors, mainly the Vincho Castillo family, that had been looming over a political change to the Constitution. Just like the Americans, if you are born here tomorrow, they will declare you at the American embassy, automatically making you an American, just like in Haiti. Article 11 of the Haitian Constitution says that all the children of Haitians are Haitian. Even my children, who are Dominicans, can also be Haitians. But I must first go through a procedure to declare my children Haitians at the Haitian embassy. I can use the right that the mother of my children, who is Dominican, has the right to declare her children in Dominican Republic. But another issue is what the Constitution says at this time. For 2007, mainly with the president of the Central Electoral Board, Julio Cesar Castaños Guzman, an anti-Haitian man, one who is now in the government, well, it was being persecution despite what the Constitution says, denying Dominican nationality to the children of Haitians. Mainly, all children of Haitians who were born here in Dominican Republic were not being recognized, thus violating what the Constitution of Dominican Republic declared. Using his power to violate the Dominican Constitution, Julio Cesar Castaño, along with Leonel Fernandez and Danilo Medina, all violated the Constitution itself until we were Here at the Movimiento Social Cultural, the Trabajadores Haitianos took the case to the justice, and retroactive judgments were made.
So, how has this law, this new change in the law, impacted the Haitian community?
Well, this caused the denationalization of almost 210,000 children of Haitians who were already declared. So, for example, a young man born in Dominican Republic in 1994 is being told that he is Haitian despite the fact that the Dominican Constitution said that he is Dominican. Thousands of children of Haitians are victims of this ruling. Another thing is that the Dominican government creates a huge mess with this policy, causing the international community to penalize the country. Because although you are a country with autonomy, it did not do what the law says.
210,000 children? That's astronomical. Can you explain further?
In this country, I can acquire Dominican nationality because I'm a foreigner who was born in Haiti. If I wanted, I could acquire this nationality because the nationality law has or says a specific parameter that state that if you are from another country, you only need a passport. But in the case of children who were born here, there is no law that favors them. This creates a bottleneck that basically the children who were identified as Haitian now are being told that their papers expired. They cannot help them because there is no law to address this. Right now, there is a gross violation of human rights. That's why I told you that the issue of migration and naturalization are two separate issues. We should not mix them up. We should not fall into the trap. They are completely different things. But Dominican and Haitian politicians conflict the two on purpose. What I wanted, what I want to tell you is that someone who is born here cannot have and should not have migration issues like other people, like me, who were not born here and simply migrate here. Different rules applies to me because I'm a foreigner, but someone born here in Dominican Republic, it should be different because he's already Dominican.
You say that we shouldn't conflate the issue, but it seems that it has been conflated. How, in your mind, has the national plan for the regularization of foreigners done that?
This migration law is against Haitians. The immigrants are divided into two groups. The migrants are people who are in transit. Non-migrants are those who are not in transit. Migrants cannot change their status here. Their children were born here, but they cannot have the Dominican nationality. The General Migration Law number 28504 of the year 2005-04 prescribed a national plan for the regularization of foreigners in Article 151. However, the adoption of this plan have to wait until the end of the 2030 with the impulse that gave them the controversial ruling number TC 016813 of the Constitutional Court, which ordered the executive branch that immediately implement the regularization plan, a task that fell under the responsibility of the President, Licenciado Danilo Medina Sanchez. Around the time, approximately 200,000 to 300,000 registered as a part of the regularization plan. However, only a small number were actually regularized. If I remember correctly, only 11,000 were legalized. The rest were granted only a work permit. If I I must explain that a work permit is not legalization. It is just that, a work permit. So, were people who were between the age of 25 and 30 with Dominican children who gave them work permit, but currently that work permit they wanted to renew it and they are being deported again to Haiti. You understand the problem? The same people who entered the regularization plan are being deported to Haiti because the government here does not want to renew it. There is no legality. It is an anti-law government. It is a back conditional, lacking and unconstitutional. So I agree with what the Americans said that you cannot deport them because it's illegal.
So, do you think that the United States is equally hypocritical due to the same treatment that they have given to the Haitians there on the border of the United States?
Well, that's another topic. I don't want to get into that. I can say that it is worse. In past history, we Haitians were victims of the Americans. In our independence of 1804, the Americans didn't recognize it.
So, I believe there is hypocrisy there in the United States, but I will agree to move on and ask another question. How do you think the international community has caused what exists in Haiti today?
This is another matter. I, Joseph, think that Haiti is a non viable state. I'm speaking to you as a Haitian. The instability in Haitian and the great hypocrisy. Historically, we have been victims of the creation of our own state or country. My theory is that society must have a vision. Haitians themselves have not changed their mentality. Haitians have two visions, two parameters, where one is the thought of the freedom and another is the common state. I want you to understand me. Our Haitian state was made by fruit of slavery, but more than that, the Haitians' problem comes from identity. Where Haiti comes from, at that time, the group did not unify a dot or a identity. Having or wanting freedom is not the only thing that is needed from to form a country. So that you understand me, the same Haitians who came out of the independence were the same ones who decide and solve the state and what they tried to create. You see the Salines, who had conflict with Haiti itself, there will fight between the same blacks. That's why the French calls him. He was killed because of the same divided society. For this reason, the biggest problem they have in Haiti, no matter how big an investment you make of money, is that it doesn't have a base or foundation. For this, first you have to see Teruel, the same anti-Haitian races that exist in Haiti, where the same black thinks he is superior to the other. There is an insecurity within society. It is necessary to study Haitian anthropology and sociology in order to understand the common problem. So there is no common state, there is only one name.
So, are you saying that the international community shouldn't provide monetary support to Haiti?
Just like in other countries of the world, that you can donate money, but there is no state, they will be wasted or they will be lost. The dictator Duvalier makes a much worse class division where he said there are two types of blacks. The country was not unified, so that it can maintain power to create development. That is the debate we have because of these political issues. He urged us to see it before socializing these issues. Before supporting people, you must first see the issues of corruption, which is a real problem. Haitian gringos do not feel Haitians. They feel Arab or another dependency, but their identity problem is that they do not feel Haitian. Let's talk about Gans. It was no other country that came to create. Gans are the fruit of the rich Haitian to preserve their business and interests, to buy weapons for their protection. And the Haitian politicians in the elections, those who are strong or have power practically destroy the election so that the rest are not in opposition so that they can continue winning the elections. After this, the gangs keep their weapons, but these gangs go weapons at the hand of their Haitians who pay them, rich, ruler, businessmen. So there is a problem. If the Haitians do not do their part, probably like the MINUSTA military occupation that lasted many years but didn't do nothing, 14 years of occupation that in the end of do not give anything possible.
Really? So, your opinion is that the international community should not provide resources to Haiti. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
What I agree with is that support be invested in education, hospital, but not given to Haitians who are not going to create an educational reform to benefit everyone. We have to change the vision in many things. We have many errors. We are isolated, even with the language 95% of Haitians speak Creole, but neighboring countries speak Spanish. A few speak English and Portuguese, but in Cuba, Puerto Rico, and others, Spanish it is. However, in Haiti, no investment is made in an education that will take advantage of those languages, but they did not take advantage of a different educational vision that Haitians would better speak English, Spanish, and not assume Creole as an official language. Culturally, yes, but not as the official language. It is different from the case of Guatemala, which has cultural language but has an official language. For example, the country that speaks 15 languages does not always mean that it is more intelligent, but rather that it is often more backward because there is no fundamental language of communication. The situation in Haiti is very complex, produced by the Haitians themselves, mostly politicians and the elite.
So, you think that the contribution that the international community gives to Haiti has not worked because there is still a division within the country?
The contribution has not functionality if people are going to steal the money. They do not do anything. If politicians don't care about the poorest, but not only the political class, but all the ruling classes, because many times it is not the politicians who dominate, but other sectors such as business classes.
What do you wish to achieve with this conversation today? How can Tambora Dialogues and the work that we do be helpful with the diasporas?
Dominicans in the United States have a different vision. You all can change these themes. It can change because both the Dominican and Haitian economies practically live off the diaspora. The guys who have a different vision, you have a different vision than how people think here and vice versa, and Haitian too. But these two communities, the Haitian and Dominican, can create alliance in the United States, an alliance that can be made to benefit their own community and also to carry the message that we are forced to live together. Let's not have the mentality that we don't look alike. Haiti has a little darker people because it's a country of blacks. The Dominicans who don't believe that are making a mistake. They think they are white when they arrive in another country, but the reality is that they are not white. We are brothers. I cannot speak ill of the Dominican because the Dominican is a caring person. Dominicans are good, although many times government lead the people down bad roads. But in itself, it is not that the Dominican who is bad. There is direct xenophobia, but it must be said that it is not the Dominican people. They are two different things. It is not people. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cherubin, for joining us today and for the ongoing work that you do on behalf of the Haitian and Dominican people and all those that are marginalized. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in. In the coming weeks, we will share the voices of Dominicans and Haitians that reside and trade in the borderlands, giving you further insight into the ongoing dynamic in the region. We hope that through these episodes, you will more deeply understand the human toll of the border crisis, not just here in the Dominican Republic, but around the world, and how the existing solution of building more walls or intentionally ignoring migrant boats in distress at sea are not the answer. You know, as a child, I was taught to revere George Washington, the first president of the United States. And well, as an adult, I came to realize that George Washington was a flawed man, like many of us are. But one of the values that were dear to him and which I share is that of giving asylum to those who need it. In George Washington's words, I had always hoped that this land might become a safe and agreeable asylum to the virtuous and persecuted part of mankind, to whatever nation they might belong. I leave you with that thought. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay engaged, mi gente.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Tambora Dialogues and on Twitter at Tambora Dialogue 1. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time in the drum circle.